The Dominic Carter Show on the Red Apple Podcast Network. Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Well, Fauci in a moment. The U.S. strikes hard Iranian targets after stopping that missile attack on U.S. forces. But I want to mention two items before we get to Fauci. Dominic Carter here with you. Let's go ahead and open up the phone lines right now. 800-848-9222. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says to Mamdani, the mayor, socialist mayor of America's largest city, Netanyahu says, say what you want, I'm coming to New York in September.
And you got this lunatic mayor in New York thinking you may get arrested if you go to New York, which will never happen.
First of all, I'm going to New York.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you there when I go to the UN in September.
You know, I moved to Florida.
Well, you know, you can take a plane.
I'll come up, yes.
You've come to Washington, so you can go there, but I'm definitely going there. I'm going to speak the truth in front of this. You know, there's just hate-spewing elected official who's pitting one group of New Yorkers against the others. He's turning them against New York Jews. I mean, what are we, in the 1930s? What is this, you know? So much hate, so many lies.
And there you have the Prime Minister talking to Sean Hannity. As for Mamdani, President Trump in the Oval Office just hours ago was asked about the troubles of the New York mayor with New York's Jewish community.
We're coming up on the 25th anniversary of 9/11, and a good number of 9/11 families have called on New York Mayor Zohar Mamdani to not attend a number of these memorial services. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think they're having a hard time with Mamdani. The people having to do with anybody having to do with 9/11 right now, on the victim side, and there are a lot of them, they're very unhappy with what's going on in New York, and they're very unhappy with the mayor. I understand that. Yeah, please.
So now to Fauci. He invoked, as you know by now, the Fifth Amendment in the COVID-19 Senate hearing over 100 times. His attorney gets thrown out. Just think for a moment, and I know you have been throughout the day, throughout the evening, what we went through. The masks, the shutting down of businesses, people that lost their jobs, their livelihood, because they stood on principle and refused to receive the vaccines. You know, it's interesting when you think about all the facts here. Fauci, you received a pardon from Biden in early 2025. So what are you hiding from? Why can't you testify and give your version of events? Oh, if you commit a brand new crime of perjury, that's what you're worried about. You know that saying, folks, what's hidden in the dark shall come to light. I guess it's hard to remember the lies, to remember the story to stick to. And that's why Fauci said over and over and over and over and over and over that he was invoking the Fifth Amendment. I want you to listen to this. Senator Bernie Moreno of Ohio going to war with Fauci.
They didn't feel they needed to wear masks because it was stupid, because they were outside. They all live together. They're not near anybody. Dr. Fauci, do you know what happened to that mom and that family? That's a question.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
They were dragged out of that stadium and arrested. It was about 6 years ago today that I decided I'm going to give up my businesses, sell them all, run for office, run for the United States Senate, Here I am sitting in front of you 6 years later saying, who the do you think you were for doing that? It is a total disgrace what you did to this country. And if my Democrat colleagues are standing there defending you, I hope the voters of the United States of America watch the clips of every one of you doting on a guy who was more interested in being a celebrity than saving American people.
So that was part of the hearings. And again, Fauci's attorney was shown the door after he tried to inject himself. And Rand Paul was not having it at all. 800-848-9222. Let's start with line 4. Sandra in New Jersey. Sandra, good morning. What's on your mind?
Oh, good morning, Dominic. When I saw Fauci today, my stomach was turning because I know that he knew from day one what he was doing. And it's so funny. When that virus happened, you know, I'm just one little speck on this earth, but I knew that virus wasn't real. It was too virulent to be so powerful to be a real virus. So I knew, and I did not take that vaccination. I even went as far as got a fake vaccination certificate so I could live my life to go to the hospital to see my husband who was getting a liver transplant. And also, I want to say another thing, Dominic. My mother died from that virus, okay? And my mother used to say, when she has her funeral, she would talk about it. She wants to play a special song, you know, now I'm blind, but now I don't see. I forgot the name of it for a moment, but that famous song, she wanted that at her funeral. And she used to talk about having a great funeral. You know what kind of funeral she had to have? It was on Zoom because of this stupid thing that Fauci did. And I hate him. And I know that he's a fake, phony fraud, and I hope he gets what he deserves. What could I say, Dominic?
I'm sorry. I didn't know that about your mom. I knew she was fond of talk radio, but I didn't know that about her. Her funeral, and I don't mean to conjure up these negative thoughts, but you mentioned it. Her funeral, Sandra, was on Zoom.
Yeah, it was on Zoom because people were not allowed to get together with one another. You couldn't have it at a congregational place, so we had to have it on Zoom. And let me tell you, it was big. It was very big. Even what's his name on 710 came to her funeral, Mark Simone. It was very special, but it was not what my mother would have wanted. That's not what she would have wanted. That's not what any of us wanted. And thanks to that creep, and I remember when my mother was very sick, she went from a hospital in Brooklyn to New York so we could save her. She says to me in the ambulance, Sandra, I'm going to be okay, right? I said, yes, Mom, you're going to be fine. Don't worry. But I knew because they told me in Brooklyn that your mother's very, very sick. So it's a very sad thing. And
before I let you go, your husband, who I've never met him, but I've grown fond of him just hearing about him.
You're gonna Dominic, you're gonna meet him at the event. You and him
wonderful.
are gonna talk about diabetes.
Oh,
you're gonna have so much fun with Michael.
Oh boy!
He is and he even heard you last night, and he told me this morning. Dominic better straighten out with his food. He even said that last night because I went to sleep early, but Michael was listening, Dominic.
I'm in the process of trying to change my diet. Don't get me started. Matt Blaze is turning beet red. Don't get me started, Sandra.
I won't.
Sandra, we're on Fauci right now, but oh my God, this is like a big change. You know, I used to have a bowl of oatmeal, right? And then I put the thing on my arm so I can check on my phone to see what my blood sugar level is. My endocrinologist just retired. I'm in the process of getting a new one. And then I eat the oatmeal and I check my sugar, and my sugar shot up to almost 300. And I almost had a heart attack. When I saw it was like 280 just from eating oatmeal. And then I had to go spend $20 to get this solid oatmeal thing, whatever that diabetics can have. Don't get me started. Hey, Sandra, Matt Blaze is laughing at both of us. What are you laughing at, Matt Blaze? Tell me what's so funny.
You eating oatmeal.
Oh, that's just the beginning, man. That's just the beginning. The doctor before she retired, and Sandra, I don't mean to get off on a diabetes thing here. So, I normally go home after the show and I have a nice meal. Can't do it anymore. The doctor says, Dominic, that's going to spike your sugars overnight. It defeats the whole purpose of the insulin. So now, Matt Blaze, because of people like you and Sandra, every day before I come into work, I go out in the community and I go for a walk of like 6 or 7 blocks because I'm told that that's an extra dose of insulin by going for a walk.
And then do you eat an apple after your walk?
Man, I'm so scared I don't even eat an apple right now. They got me scared to death. But Sandra, again, thank you for the call. And I know it must have been tough for your husband undergoing a liver transplant in that type of situation. Let's go and stop laughing, Matt Blaze. Let's go to line 3, Roger in Massachusetts. Good morning, Roger. What's on your mind?
I've been wondering for a long time, those city workers, police or nurses, whoever, who did not get the vaccine, who lost their jobs in New York, do you know whether or not they ever got their jobs back?
I believe some did, but some people moved on with their lives, and they were devastated financially over what happened.
Well, you know what I'd like to add then to this? For all any Democrats, I'm not talking about the far left, just Democrats, people that don't like Trump, if they think he's heavy-handed. We saw heavy-handed during COVID. For instance, when someone came up with the idea, if there is an employer with 100 employees and OSHA finds one unvaccinated person, for each unvaccinated person, it's a $700,000 fine for each one. Now, talk about heavy-handed. The left is nice. They seem to be nice, but when they don't get their way, if you think Trump has, we all know that the left is far more heavy-handed, and they don't care about anybody.
Fair enough, and I would have to agree with you on that, Roger. And it was tough for many of these companies in terms of the mandates and what was necessary. And then we see today from Dr. Fauci, hey, it was all about me being on magazine covers, and I'm not answering a single question because you may catch me up in a perjury rap, even though I received a presidential pardon. Way to go, Dr. Fauci. 800-848-9222. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. We see all your telephone calls, 800-848-9222. In a moment, we're going to Robert in North Carolina. I'm looking at my Twitter at my ex, and the lovely DMS, she says, and I'm quoting, so at Dominic TV, you're still making fun of my 2.5-mile Hudson River walks? Don't laugh, Matt Blaze. I'm not making fun of your walks. I'm making fun that you do it at the midnight hour. And then she says, after dinner, it keeps everything balanced. Though I never had a problem, I do it to be near nature in this nasty city. Oh, well, that's nice. That's a great reason to do it. So now I'm walking around, Matt Blaze, and I want to get back to Fauci with this button on my arm, and I'm looking at my blood sugar, and did it spike? Is it too low? Get serious. Take all your blood pressure medication. You got to make sure your blood pressure 120/80. Oh, it's 150, it's 160. Oh, drink some water, go sit down. I'm going to get kicked out of the McDonald's club.
All because you found the oatmeal that has sugar in it.
Oh, man, no, Blaze. Serious here. The regular oatmeal, the instant oatmeal that we think is good for us,
right? It's
one of the worst things that you can eat.
Oh,
especially for a diabetic.
It was instant oatmeal.
Yeah, man, everything about my life, is rush, go, go, go. We'll get to that because, boy, do I have a bone to pick with you coming up in just minutes. You say I'm nuts. Don't turn red. Don't laugh. A man got stuck in one of those MRI machines. overnight. OMG. I would have passed out. That would have been it. So we're going to talk about that, Mr. Man, with your KISS shirt on and my Adidas jacket. Let's go to Robert, line 4, North Carolina. Robert, what's on your mind?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Every time Fauci goes to Congress to testify and he refuses, he can be held in contempt after a vote and get locked up for another 3 months. And that can continue for the rest of his life.
I don't think that's true, Robert. Rand Paul has indicated that he wants to go down that path. I don't think the votes would be there to make that happen. I hear you, though. I mean, I might agree with you that that's what should happen, but it's not going to. We'll see what happens this first time around. I'll give you the final word. Go ahead.
Well, I hope so, because he's a mass murderer.
I hear you, and I feel exactly what you are saying. Thank you so much for the call. Let's go to Minnie, line 1, Mineola. Minnie, what's on your mind?
I love you, Dominic.
Oh, the love is going right back to you, Minnie. Thank you.
Thank you. I remember on TV, I don't know if you remember, there was a dying doctor, a Chinese doctor in the lab, and he explained what the source was. There was a researcher who explained what she was doing, and she came to America. They searched the Chinese newspapers for want ads. They were explaining what they needed in Wuhan lab. So those are the 3 things I remember, that they knew that the source from this doctor who was dying from COVID, they knew the source already. And it's not shown anymore. It was, I don't know, I saw it twice, and I heard that she came to America, and she was explaining what had happened. Do you remember that at all?
I don't recall that specific situation, but I do know, I can only tell you, Minnie, in the here and now, and what Fauci did just hours ago was utterly disgusting. To have an entire country go the way that he told us to go, and now we're finding out, oops, my bad, it wasn't really necessary, and you don't even have the cojones to testify. You're going to get up there because you're worried about a perjury charge? And you can only worry about a perjury charge, Minnie, if you have something to hide. If you're worried that your stories are not consistent. What is there to hide? You already got a pardon. What is there to hide, Fauci? It is time for a break. 800-848-9222.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
Fauci invokes the Fifth Amendment in that COVID-19 Senate hearing over 100 times. What do you have to hide, Dr. Fauci? You received the presidential pardon from your boy Biden just last year. I guess he's worried about that potential perjury charge, getting himself tripped up in terms of his stories. President Trump says that he watched the entire hearing.
Dr. Fauci invoked the Fifth Amendment more than 100 times today. Senator Rand Paul said he's going to hold a vote on holding him in contempt of Congress. Do you think Dr. Fauci should face repercussions for this?
Well, I watched the whole thing today, but more importantly, I was a part of the whole Fauci. I inherited Fauci. He was here from the 1980s, so I had him for a period of time. And I disagreed with him on a lot. I would have had to close down the whole country if I listened to him. I went the Federalist way, which is basically let the governors decide. And generally speaking, the Republican governors did very well. The Democrat governors did not very well. But Fauci wanted to have nobody wearing masks, if you remember, and then everybody had to wear 5 masks, as many masks as you could get. I mean, he made a lot of mistakes. And he wasn't a big factor for me. He was a very big factor for Biden. And if you remember, even though we were prime time in terms of that whole disaster of COVID, far people died, fewer in the Trump administration than in the Biden administration. We ran it well. Operation Warp Speed was talked about as being one of the great success stories anywhere in the world, actually. And we did a good job. But many more people died under Biden than died in the Trump administration from COVID. COVID was a disaster, but Fauci did not help.
Understatement of the year, Mr. President, but that's the man that would know, the president of the United States that came in the middle of all this. And remember that debate, President Trump said he would get the country up and running, and Biden basically laughed at him. Well, that's exactly what happened under Trump. 800-848-9222. So let's pause for a second here, Mr. Kiss, with your shirt on and your Adidas jacket. Oh, what's this thing, Matt Blaze, you have with Adidas?
Well, I mean, it is the same jacket every day pretty much.
No, it seems, I thought it was different jackets.
Well, this is the windbreaker, but I do have other Adidas jackets. But for some reason,
so are you a fan of Adidas?
Of course. How could you not be?
Okay, all
you know,
right.
You know how crazy I am now? And I wasn't like this as a kid. As a kid, I wore Adidas too. You know, you had the shorts, the shirt.
Right.
But now, like if I wear Adidas sweatpants, which I do pretty much every day, I have to wear my Adidas sneakers. I feel weird.
Adidas.
I feel very weird wearing one brand of sweatpant and another brand of sneakers.
Really?
Like they have to match.
See, I could care less.
Exactly. And you should care less. Or shouldn't care less. But I don't, for some reason, I've become this way, where if I wear my Puma sweatpants, I have to wear my Puma sneakers.
Ah, okay. So you're a little anal. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah. I don't know when that happened. About the dumbest thing.
You know, it's funny
It's like
because when I'm not
obsessive-compulsive.
working, I could care less
Of
what I
course.
put on. Moccasins, it doesn't matter what shirt, doesn't matter what shorts. It's just let's roll. Just let me hide. I don't want to answer any political questions.
Right.
And let's roll. But you think that I'm loco Diablo. You think that I'm a little cuckoo. You and Pete sitting over there in the corner. I see him. You guys think I'm crazy, right? So MRI machine, right?
Yeah.
Guy gets locked in the machine. I told you, these attendants, they're like, girl, what did you do this weekend? Well, girl, my boyfriend took me, my husband, and they ain't paying attention to you at all. Put on the headphones, go in the machine, take the test. You saw what happened with the guy with the medallion on. He got the you're not supposed to wear the medal, and he got pulled to the machine, and I think he died, if I remember correctly. Long Island. But I want you to listen to this, Matt Blaze, because you think that I'm the one that's nuts. What happened to this man who got stuck in the MRI machine for real? And he was stuck in there. Don't laugh. He was stuck in there. Don't smile. He was stuck in there the complete overnight.
It's outrageous. You'd never guess what happened to this man during a simple MRI scan. He went to the hospital for a routine MRI, but what happened next was unbelievable. Around midnight, after being placed inside the MRI machine, the doctors completely forgot about him. His head was restrained, he wore a mask, and his phone was left outside the machine. Once the scan began, the doctors went to do other things, even marking the scan as complete in the system before handing it over to another colleague. The man was trapped in the machine for nearly 6 hours, unable to move, shouting for help, but no one responded. The machine hummed, and he was trapped in agony, unable to move. His wife couldn't find him and called the police, but the hospital told her the scan was over and he had left. He wasn't finally rescued until the next morning when a cleaning worker heard his cries for help. Now the man is suing the doctors, seeking $1 million in damages, alleging gross negligence. The doctors and staff involved have been held accountable, but the psychological trauma is irreparable.
Matt Blaze, I'm the one that's cuckoo, right? I'm the one that's cuckoo.
Dominic, who recorded
you know
you? Who recorded you while you were getting your MRI?
I haven't had it yet, but you know what's interesting? I didn't believe this, so I double and triple checked the story to make sure that this actually happened. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, all I'm thinking is, How did they not know? How did they literally just forget the guy?
I told you. Because the workers are like,
lunch?
girl, what you going to have for dinner? Girl, I don't feel like being bothered today. Blah, blah. They busy talking to each other, sharing photos. They ain't paying attention.
Did somebody get Mr. Carter out of the MRI machine? Oh, wait a minute. I thought you did it. No. I thought you did it. Uh-oh.
Can you imagine that?
Just sitting there go, help! Help! Hello!
I don't think I would make it. I don't think I would make it. I don't think you think you would survive that?
I think, well, they said his neck was restrained. So if I was just stuck in the machine, like somebody forgot to like get me out of it and I'm just kind of laying enclosed, I think I'd be able to deal with that. I mean, I'd be pissed off that they left me in the machine, but I think I'd be able to deal. Now, if your neck's restrained and you can't move your neck, that's a real problem. For me, that would be where the problem was. Being in the machine, I'd be like...
It's about a coffin, Matt Blaze. That's all I think about, a coffin. And
hello!
Help!
Get
Hello!
Me out of here!
Let me out of here.
Anybody there?
I wouldn't settle that lawsuit for anything less than $5 million.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, sorry doesn't cut it. You're going to pay dearly. So hopefully that never happens to you. But I'm the one that's cuckoo, right? And did you hear, Matt, and we see these calls, folks, I'm coming to you in 1 second. Did you see what happened in Southern California? I didn't play it tonight because I don't want you to say that I'm nuts. Did you hear what happened with a rattlesnake?
What happened? I did not hear about this.
The lady was taking care of her garden, and she heard shh, and bang, the snake bit her, and a rattlesnake. And she said within seconds, she got dizzy. The husband had to take her to the hospital, blah, 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 blah. But I'm the one that's cuckoo.
Well, you don't live where there's rattlesnakes. You live where there's bears.
Right. I didn't even know that rattlesnakes would be in California. I thought they'd be more in Arizona.
Well, I think when they rattle, they're giving you a warning.
Right, it's a warning.
So
Get away from me before I strike out.
Yeah, she probably didn't see the snake,
I
heard something and was like,
I wouldn't
that?
see it either as we're taking care of our garden, you know?
Well, and you're probably not expecting it, so you hear something and you're kind of like, what is that? She probably didn't even know what it was if she
said it was extremely painful.
And then she just got bit and was like, this isn't normal.
Right. This is not normal. Okay, enough with the rattlesnakes in the MRI machine, but we see your calls, folks. Let's go to line 3 on Fauci. Mark in Queens. Good morning, Mark. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. It's a pleasure to speak with you. The point is that the Congress is in the process of taking a vote to hold Dr. Anthony Fauci in contempt of Congress. Okay, fine. But you see, the issue here is that Fauci was the head of the agency. The head man, the top man, who from him filtered down the various commands and directives as to how to deal with the COVID emergency. Why hasn't Congress chosen to subpoena those immediately under him, the 100 or 200 key people who would know precisely what was going on with Fauci and pretty much what was wrong with the system at that point?
Well, we don't know what's coming in the future. I don't know what type of case is being made. And remember, the midterms are right around the corner. So Republicans, they have a lot on their plate right now. To be honest with you, Mark, I don't know. And I don't know if they got their eyes set directly on Fauci, but it's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Thank you, Mark, for the telephone call. I hear you. I feel your pain, and I hear you, Mark, loud and clear. Let's go to line 4, Michael on the east side. Michael, what's on your mind?
Hey, I was trying to give you some information about MRIs a couple of weeks ago when you first started discussing it. There are what they call stand-up MRI centers here.
Michael, let me just tell you this. I'm gonna let you finish. You're not the first one to tell me this. I've received about 100 emails within an hour of mentioning that. So I'm well aware of it, but there are some doctors that they need the full MRI. So for example, my doctor didn't even want it done at a satellite office because that's the expertise that has to be done with it as it relates to the heart. But go right ahead.
Okay. New York Presbyterian has a brand new building, about 8 years old, on York Avenue and 69th Street. It's called the Koch Building, Koch. That is the top equipment in MRI, and that whole building is filled with doctors. And right across the street is
right, but that's not. Isn't that connected with the old New York hospital? It's not connected with Columbia Presbyterian. I go to Columbia Presbyterian, and I don't want any insurance problems.
No, you wouldn't have an insurance problem. New York Presbyterian.
Yes, you would. If you go out of network, you got a major problem. Thank you, Michael, for the call. If you go out of network, you got a major problem and you're stuck with the bill. That's not what I'm looking for. Let's go to Frank, line 5, North Brooklyn. That is Frank. Good morning. What's on your mind?
Yeah, good morning, Dominic. But that happened. The same thing with me. But that guy was in an MRI machine. I was emergency trying to check my blood pressure, so they hooked me up on, they rolled me around in a chair, then they put me in a bed, and then I was hooked up on a machine, and that's it. I was there for about an hour or whatever.
What type of machine were you hooked up to?
It was for blood pressure. The one that goes.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. That's not too bad.
No, it's not that, but they thought I left. They couldn't find me.
And so you were there. You got a good point there. I missed the point. So they left you on a blood pressure machine, and if it didn't go off automatically, it's dangerous if a blood pressure machine stays on continuously.
No, every 15 minutes it goes off to check your blood pressure. But they didn't know. They thought I left.
And so you sat there for an hour.
Yeah, I was there for just say 2 hours at a place, doing everything. But I'm just saying that. Then they finally says, "You're Frankie, right?" I says, "Yeah, check me out over here. Let me see what's going on." I says, "Oh, we thought you left." I said, "No, but I'm exposed. I'm there. I'm laying in the bed there with my clothes on, but I got all wires to me and everything like that." I said, "Man, own to me." I said, "You thought I left? No, I'm still here." She said, "All right." So they did everything right, and that was it. But I'm just saying that was a little thing compared to the guy in that MRI machine. I would have died.
Wow. Yeah. I'm sorry you went through that, Frank. Thank you very much for the call. Let's go to line 3, Lisa in Connecticut. Lisa, good morning. What's on your mind?
Hi. How are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Okay. Hi. So, people thought I was crazy back in the day, but I found an interesting article during this whole situation where Harvard was funding a nanoscience lab at Wuhan. And that is where this whole thing came about, basically.
Oh, right. Okay, so what are you saying? Because I got to toss to a break, Lisa. So what are you saying?
Okay, so there's a doctor over there. I'm trying to find
Lisa,
out.
I just need you to tell me, what are you saying? Lisa, I got to toss to a break. What are you saying?
Basically, Harvard and Wuhan started this lab, nanoscience lab in Wuhan.
And so you're making a connection. I'm trying to get to the point, Lisa. You're making a connection that this is somehow COVID related. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, that the virus was started with what these guys started with this nanoscience lab.
Okay, I don't know if I would agree with that, Lisa, but I respect what you're saying. I am so late for a break, Lisa. I stayed on so I can get to your call. Thank you so much. Time for a break. We are coming right back.
The Dominic Carter Show
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Now, from New York City to the world, it's Dominic Carter.
And we are back. Matt Blaze just looked up. I hope this thing don't ring while we're live on the air. I think it's called a Dexcom or something like that. It makes me feel like an old man, Matt Blaze. So I got to put this on my arm, and the thing is going off. It was going off a second ago. Don't laugh.
What does that
tell
mean?
me that as of right now, I have high glucose. As of right now.
So what do you got to eat? Some plain oatmeal?
No. I just drink some water. I've already had my night dosage of insulin. Oh, I don't even want to talk about this stuff because it makes me feel like an absolute old man. Don't laugh, Matt Blaze. Don't laugh. You'll be there one day, too. You won't be able to eat what you want to eat. The only fruit that I can have an apple every now and then, but I can have, what is it? A cup of raspberries or blueberries, stuff like that.
That's it? A cup?
Yeah. So I got to go through. And, hey, but you know what? I'm going to get you. Because you and I, one of these evenings, we're going to go for a walk together. Don't laugh in Midtown. Let's go back to and hopefully the homeless don't attack us, or hopefully we don't get robbed, but, we'll get that extra dose of insulin. Let's go to Ethel, line 3 in New Jersey. Ethel, good morning. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Dominic. I'm going to make this short. I went to the emergency room. I'm a nurse 3 weeks ago. And with my sciatic nerve, they put me in not in a room, but back in a hallway, way back where nobody could see me. And I'm waiting. So I'm waiting 4.5 hours. Luckily, I had my phone, so I called into the emergency room, and I said, I'm a patient, and I'm here. And they said, well, where are you? I said, I'm here where you put me 4.5 hours ago. And the only thing I got through to them so quickly, because they said, if you're a doctor, press 1. So I pressed 1, and they came and they found me after 4.5 hours. What if I didn't have a phone? So then they took me. I was supposed to have an x-ray when I first got in. Took me, rolled me around in another hallway, and I still didn't get into a room yet. So it's kind of bad there at those hospitals, And I'm a nurse. And that happened to me. And I'm still suffering right now from my sciatic. 4.5 hours. They lost me. I had to call the emergency room at the hospital where I am. And they said, where are you?
I guess, Ethel, to be honest with you, that's one of the things about being a recognizable journalist. So the moment I walk in, they know who I am, and it's by the book, because they want me in and out as soon as possible. They don't want me to see what's going on. And so I generally don't have those problems. But, boy, do you have more patience than I do, because I would have waited maybe 20 minutes, and then I would have demanded to see the administrator that's on duty for the hospital, which is something that I've done repeatedly. Ethel, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Yeah. Thank you very much for the call. Thank you, Ethel. Let's go to Jerry, line 2 in Manhattan. Jerry, what's going on?
Hi, Dominic. Regarding the COVID deaths under Trump, that was February 2020 to January 2021, which is 1 year. There were 400,000 deaths. Now, Biden, it was 4 years. January 2021.
Okay, it sounds like you want to. Are you trying to trash Trump? I got 30 seconds left in the show. What's the point you're trying to make, Jerry?
I'm just saying that under Trump,
Jerry, what's the point you're trying to? Are you trying to trash Trump? Don't hide. Get to the point.
Under Trump. More people died.
I'm going to say for the third and final time, are you trying to embarrass President Trump? What are you trying to say here?
I don't have to. He does it himself all the time.
That's what I thought. Hater! Cut him off. I'm not in the mood for these haters. Oh, Dominic, let me make this intellectual point. You don't think I see that haterade coming a mile away? Anybody can cherry pick facts to get what they want. Jerry, go sit down somewhere. Folks, I am back. Don't laugh, Matt Blaze. I am back at 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to get some blackberries or something.
Thanks for listening to The Dominic Carter Show. You can hear The Dominic Carter Show weekdays at 3 p.m. and Monday through Thursday at midnight and Sunday starting at 11 p.m. on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?